Hello, hello, hello. Greetings. We're here. We're here. And hopefully grateful. So let's begin with some quiet sitting. Just letting your awareness arrive in your body and letting the base of your body, whatever is making contact with the ground, feel heavy and rooted. So if you're seated, it's your pelvis and your legs and your feet dropping like reliable anchors. And if you're reclined, then it's the whole back plane of your body and whatever is making contact to the ground, really settling down and in. And sometimes that takes a bit of attention and some extra beats of time and awareness. Give yourself that time. Give yourself that chance to arrive physically in this moment. And with that weighted body making grounding contact, now let the upper half of your body, or if you're reclined, the front plane of the body, be buoyant, light, open, and free. And notice the differential between the dropping and the rising, the anchor and the lift. And notice your breath. The mediator between the drop and the lift is this fluid movement of energy that the breath embodies and carries. Such a great gift, this ability to tap into an awareness of the very one thing that keeps us alive every second. The thing that happens whether we pay attention to it or not. And then when we do pay that attention, noticing the sensations that arise as a result of that recognition, that gratitude, that perhaps amazement at this simplest little thing. Nothing else we have to do right now except for just be present for this next breath. Not even the others, just this one right now. If your mind gets lost in a sea of thinking, you can try the gentle return and the gentle reminder to yourself. Inhaling, I am inhaling. Exhaling, I am exhaling. Inhaling, I breathe in. Exhaling, I breathe out. That's it. Approach the magnificence of this simple breath as if all of the complexities of the rest of our lives could be rendered tiny in the face of this simple magic of being alive. That one breath in, right here, right now, as we magnify our awareness, is more impactful than anything else that we're imagining right now. Bring a breath in and let it go. And then work your way back into a more active state of presence. If you'd like to rearrange your body or stretch or wriggle around, returning to your immediate surroundings. Thank you. I looked up the word joy in the dictionary. It's a great way to start any investigation, right? Just a simple dictionary. And the first few hits were all focused on something that gives us joy from the outside. Like, oh, that thing is that gives me such joy. That's a common phrasing. That the person is such a joy in my life. And it even got defined, the first few definitions, defined as a thing that provides this feeling. Very much like an outside in experience. And I thought, there's something missing here. This is not the way the ancients described and I think experienced joy. In these contemplative, these dharmic traditions, joy comes from right in here. The problem with the external thing being the source of the joy is that means joy is conditional. It means it depends on something else. Now, it does, in a really literal sense, it depends on the way we're going to interpret our experience in the world. So in that sense, sure, it is conditional, but it's not conditional. I believe true joy is not conditional on the way others are behaving or the things that others are saying or the presence of any physical object in our midst. That it's not something that gets created and then presented to us. I think a truer essence of this concept of an emotion called joy is that it's something that we use our skillful maneuvering in the world to uncover, that it's something that's in there. The capacity to feel true unconditional joy is just an unwrapping of all of the other conditioning that barriers us from, I don't think barrier is a verb, that occludes it, that all our conditioning to say that I have to have these things in place before I can feel joy is the thing that obscures this joyful essence that really can be inside all the time. If we could let that surface stuff melt away just a little bit, the things that we think with our conditional mindset, with our mindset of like, oh, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I need this to be that way. We could let that soften a little bit, bring some heat to bear on this pattern of conceptualization of our lives, this pattern of needing and wanting or disliking and pushing away. Bring some heat of intention to bear on that. Let those things melt a little bit so they don't have their hard hold on us. Then I think under this heat of intentional presence, we might get these glimpses of true joy. I think that we need the world as a reflection back to us. That's how experience works. We don't just walk around in a cloud. A stranger on the street, instead of waiting for that person to offer some joyful presence in the form of a smile or an offering of friendliness, that we ignite that. Give the smile. See if there is a joy that can be offered, and then we're not doing it so that we do get something back. We're doing it for ourselves. But inevitably, usually we will get it reflected right back to us. The wonderment of nature is a really great place to practice this, to stare up at a tree, to watch water in a stream, to put your bare feet on earth, grass or dirt or sand, to smell nature. Those are the places where unconditional joy can arise. Those are the conditions that we can create that are unconditional. There's a simplicity to this that is almost embarrassing to try and explain or to try and describe, because it feels so childish, but it kind of is. Another wonderful place to practice this is to if you have a playground near your home that you can walk by and listen to the joyful laughter of children. This awakens something in us that has always been there. The really wonderfully wise and influential 20th century monk, philosopher, activist, Thomas Merton, he has a famous, I'm going to read this to you. He has a famous passage that he wrote. It's referred to often as Thomas Merton at the corner of 4th and Walnut. This is in downtown Louisville, where he was from, or where he lived, or something. So he describes standing in this busy downtown street. I'm going to read this to you. In Louisville, at the corner of 4th and Walnut, in the center of the shopping district, I was suddenly overwhelmed with the realization that I loved all these people, that they were mine and I theirs, that we could not be alien to one another even though we were total strangers. It was like waking from a dream of separateness, of spurious self-isolation in a special world. This sense of liberation from an illusory difference was such a relief and such a joy to me that I almost laughed out loud. I'll leave it there. It goes on. Look it up. Thomas Merton at 4th and Walnut. This beautiful sense of joy erupting out of him for no other reason that he let his defenses down to see the potential for the same joy in all of these other people, regardless of who they were or what he didn't know about them. Just they were there, and he was there. And all of a sudden, the world felt joyful. It didn't matter whether the light was green or red at the corner. It didn't matter if anybody smiled back at him or not. It didn't matter if anybody knew what he was thinking or not. It just mattered that he stopped to notice, that he made the time for a simple moment of presence. And this is the way, these are the ways that we can loosen the grip that our worrisome thoughts have on us. Because those worrisome thoughts, I'm not going to say they're not real, they're very, very real, but they're not happening in the sensory realm right now. All that's happening in the sensory realm right now is that we have eyes and ears and nose and tongue and a body that's receiving the world as it is arising in this moment. And there can be much joy there if we stop and look, listen, feel, smell, taste. I'll stop there for another short session of sitting. And the invitation is is not to make this a joyful moment. That it's not something that we can construct or manufacture for ourselves. If we don't feel joyful right now, that's true and real for us in the moment. I'm going to talk about that after this session. But so for now, the invitation is to sit, to notice the breath, and to imagine that there's some warmth of, some warm energy, some heat of presence that can meet our worrisome thoughts. Shine a little light on them and let them be as if they could melt. They don't have to disappear, they won't disappear, but just to melt down, to be a little softer, to loosen the grip a little bit. That's all. So with each inhale, a sense of light or warmth, and with each exhale, an imagining of melting. All the extraneous things, all of those barriers that snuff out our joyful hearts. Nothing here is being forced. It's not like we're trying to, it's not like the heat of an iron trying to iron away the wrinkles of hard thoughts. Just a little spurt of steam. Just a little bit of light to soften and to reveal. Every time worrisome thoughts intrude, don't try and shut them out. Don't try and tell them they're wrong. Just shine a little light. Give them warmth. See if you can melt them a little bit. See if what comes up instead is a simple innocence of joyful presence. Let that simple innocence of joyful presence dance with the breath as it rises and falls. Take another breath. Notice this very next full and present inhale. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. And then let it go, let it go, let it go. Soft, long exhale. And bring awareness back to the immediate surroundings. Wriggle and stretch if you like. So, this idea that a joyful experience is not about receiving it from somebody else, but giving it, but allowing it to exist in ourselves and then offering it back out. It's a giving rather than a receiving event. This is not about avoiding the pain. This is not about replacing it or snuffing it out or saying, no, I'm not going to look at that because I have to be happy. No. First noble truth of the Buddha, suffering exists. In this life, suffering is unavoidable at the outset. We are here to experience the realities of this world. The second noble truth is there are causes for this suffering. The third noble truth is there's a way out. And the way out is to understand, this is the fourth noble truth, there are ways to understand the way out, and there is a path. Let's follow that path. And part of that path is to understand that every experience, whether it's suffering or not, arises because of something that happened before it. Everything is dependent. Everything that arises originates from something that arose preceding this moment. And so if pain is coming up, it's not to just replace it with joy. It's to look at what arose before and say, okay, here I am right now. What can I give rise to next? And if what we give rise to next is a softening and an easing of like, yeah, right now things are hard. Right now I'm fill in the blank. Right now things aren't going my way. Everything's a mess. My job sucks. So like whatever it is, name it, see it that it arose from a certain combination of events, and then see the next thing. And in this little moment, we're allowing the suffering to be real. We're also allowing the joy to be uncovered, because we see that the suffering is impermanent, like everything else is impermanent. Again, from Thomas Merton, he said, the more you try to avoid suffering, the more you suffer. So we're not trying to avoid it. We are offering it more space, this suffering. And also in that space, we're making room for the possibility that joy can also be present and can arise in the next breath. Even if it's the simplest joy of, wow, that was a really good deep breath. Wow, my lungs really filled. Wow, that tree is unbelievably tall. Wow, that water is beautiful as it runs over those rocks. And if we're lucky, those moments will start to plant their seeds and breed more of the like. Another Buddhist teacher refers to these moments as the genuine heart of sadness. And the genuine heart of sadness is a place where all things are possible, including joy, right alongside the grief. Another wonderful Buddhist teacher, Leonard Cohen, saying, there's a crack in everything, that's where the light gets in. And that's the work here, is to let the light in, to experience, even as fleeting as it may be, some spark, some uplift, some opening to the possibility of ease. Let's sit for another few. The breath is the powerful agent to infuse those cracks and open them wider for light, for ease, for wisdom, for joy. sitting here in this moment, in this body, with this next breath. We invite it in. We let it mix around with all the ruminations that are present. And then we let it back out and we see what is willing to get quiet. And then we stay there and watch the next breath arrive. And we see if it feels lighter, brighter, warmer. Is there any joy that got uncovered? And we let the breath go. And we stay here for all of it. The suffering is here because we are here. And the joy is here because we are here. Just another couple of minutes here. Just notice thoughts and sensations, present moment experience. Infuse all of that with breath. Stay as close to the experience of breath as you can. Let the breath touch that genuine heart of sadness if something unpleasant feels real to you right now. Let the breath touch it. Let it find the cracks in your armor. Let the light in. Take 3 more breaths, a little longer, maybe a little deeper. Let them all the way back out. 2 more. And then finish your next exhale. And if you'd like to open up your palms and join them together in front of your heart, bowing your head. May all sentient beings everywhere find a way to meet their own genuine heart of sadness with the light of presence that reveals some innate joy that helps ease their suffering. Thank you for being with me. Be well. See you soon.